Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone. I just wanted to wait till 5:30 so everybody can kind of get in their seats. All of you looking over here, please come in. There's a few more seats to come and enjoy. Take a load off. My name is Sabrina. I am Sex with Sabrina. I am a creator, podcast, host, whatever. I'm stumbling on my own words already. RealPeopleTalk.ca shows how professional I am, and I have a talk show, for Pete's sakes. But RealPeopleTalk.ca is a podcast that is all about real conversation, real people, real relatable, actual shit that you can all get along with. And I'm Canadian, and it's Canadian relatable shit. So the amount of times I like to go online and find it's always American stuff, and I'm nothing against Americans, if any of you are here are, it's not about that. It's just having that relatable Canadian kind of connection, where I get my stuff, where others get their stuff, where they go and what they can enjoy in all the different provinces across this country, and then some. So in my podcast that started as a general conversation of all things, my life kind of took a little bit of turn earlier this year specifically. I've always been interested in the sex conversation, always been very open and liberal about it, had no problem talking about it, to a certain point where it was always so taboo to everybody else, they shut me down a lot. And I'm a talker, I like to talk, but I used to also get shut down and bullied for I talk too much. So I am now making a career out of it instead, so fuck them all. And that's what I'm here for. And I'm going to speak loudly and proudly about sex and not be tabooed and shut up anymore. Some of my siblings, I don't have anything to do with me because I talk too much about sex. And that was a whole transition, and because that's your blood. But sex being a taboo conversation shouldn't be. How the fuck did we all get here? Pretty sure two people had sex? Except, for most of our generations, there's some Petri dish kids out here, I'm sure, no offense to any of you, but we all had sex. All of you that are at this Taboo Show most likely have had sex. Either you came here you live the lifestyle, or you came with a friend that lives the lifestyle or is a little more risque than you are, and you're like, okay, I'll be there with you, but don't tell anybody I went to the show. I know that you're in here. I know you are. I won't call you out, though. I won't call you out. I worked in a sex shop earlier this year after coming out of a marriage that was not fulfilling and cheated on and all that shit, whatever, it's irrelevant. I came out and started working at a sex shop. Working at a sex shop was the most liberating, amazing experience, because the conversations that I got to have and the insight that I got to have with so many different people. I live in BC, and I worked at a sex shop on Davie Street. If any of you know Vancouver and know Davie Street, it is the pinpoint, specifically the store I worked at, the pinpoint of the LGBTQ community. Very, very, very LGBTQ. So it's very rainbow friendly all around, so it's a beautiful community. So the type of people that would come in, but because it was also, that's right downtown Vancouver's a very touristy destination from all around the world. So my customers were not only strongly LGBTQ, but also a lot of international comings and goings, and their intake and the conversations I got to have with them from different cultural perspectives was fascinating. I'm all about psychology of the human being in all directions. So it was really interesting about how taboo it is in some places, how taboo it's not. We all know that there are major things that come into play, from political to religion. I have nothing against religion. Everyone follow their own path and faith. But it being a mega factor, unfortunately, and we all just can say that's true, a mega factor in creating it being a sin topic. And there's so many different dynamics and so many different religions and how and ways they do it. Nothing against you guys in any way. But we do need to find a way that we can talk about it, and that it's okay to talk about it, and that it's not sinful. It's not a sinful act because we were made this way. All the creatures out there all fucking have sex in one way or another to recreate and all that. But us as human beings, we've got all these ways and much more advanced ways to enjoy sensual sensations and play and extras more than just producing more babies. Because that's not what sex is just about, nor is sex porn. sex, the word sex is just so simple, 3 little words, and then it means an abundance of things and relates to an abundance of things. Gender differences, sexuality differences. I'm all about anybody and everybody. I'm just about human. That's what it is, just about human, and all your interests in and your fantasies and kinks and all that kind of stuff. To each their own. It is okay, and you should be loud and proud for whatever it is, and not shy and nervous and afraid to go, it's probably wrong, or I feel really dirty, that I kind of like that you don't if you don't shower before you come. Like, so what? And then there's others that are like, you better be showered, wiped, cleaned, down, and then some douched every which way. Okay, that's your thing. And to each their own. Everybody has their own way. And when I talk about some of that stuff, you guys aren't talking about it enough with each other. You're not talking with your partners or potential partners or any of that. That communication shouldn't be hesitation and being afraid to just talk about going, ooh, I like this. Or maybe, there's, and I'm going to use this, no, I'm not trying to put you boys on spot or the male gender in any way, but exploring the back door in the non-straight community in a male person, they are very much like, whoa, let's not talk about that. There's those that have, and they've gone and they've enjoyed and tried. Then there's those that maybe have tried but didn't take all the right directions with it, and it may not have been as enjoyable the first time. But then there's those that are totally have no idea where to even start or where to try or if they should try, and they're like, I don't even know. I'm like, have you even stuck your finger up there? Like, it's your own body. It's your own body. Get to know that. And then your partner, it should be okay. And as long as you just communicate, and if whatever it is that you need, communication and consent and exploration. Enjoy exploration and new ways to see things and explore things. Now, when I talk about being real people talk and a real conversation, this is all about talking about sex with Sabrina. My tag, Sex with Sabrina, just to kind of give you an idea of where I come from. Sex with Sue Johansson. If any of you, how many of you remember Sex with Sue? Who did not listen to Sex with Sue on Sunday nights? Forever. She was amazing, incredible icon. If you don't know her, look her up. She's hilarious, she's amazing, she's just everything. She was just a sex educator, sex conversation. It was just a very neutral kind of personality that people would call in and ask, those that are embarrassed about queefing. Because, oh my gosh, I just pussy farted in this guy's face, and I just how do I stop it from happening? I never want that to happen again. I mean, I remember the first time that happened to me, and I had no fucking idea what was going on, and I was absolutely mortified. I was lucky enough that I had a dude with me going, this is amazing. I love it. But then there's some that are like, woo, hey girl, take care of that. But it's just air, it's queefing, just for the record. Queefing is farting out the pussy. If you don't even know what that is, I'm just gonna throw it, because some of you actually may not know. There's other things, ED with dudes, and your penises. Girls, it's not your fucking fault. It's not their fault either, so don't be a bitch about it, because it's kind of really, amount of men that I hear from that are belittled because women are making them feel so small for having that. Well, guess what? You're creating that mental health not going to happen and get up because you're stressing them out. It's all in here. ED though, that's a conversation. It's okay to have. It's okay that it goes on. You can kind of get through it but don't make it a big thing. And because for dudes, if they're embarrassed and worried about it, you don't have to shut down. There's plenty of other things that you can do and just kind of ignore that moment and it will come back. There's a lot of things. I'm not going to this isn't a whole talk about ED, but I'm just giving examples. Girls get embarrassed by queefing in front of a guy. Guys get embarrassed by having ED and can't perform all of a sudden. There are so many other sexual, playful ways that everyone can enjoy themselves, and that's what I'm going to kind of touch on a few things. I got my goodie bag, just like Sue had her little hot bag. I got my hot bag, and I got some toys just to kind of, because I know everybody knows what a dildo is, for the most part, right? Everybody knows or knows of what a cock ring is. Sure. Everybody knows what a vibrator is. Sure. But when you walk into a sex store, and if you're not one that owns many toys or any toys or whatever, and you see an entire wall of all these toys and vibrators and all the different technology that there is today, where the fuck do you start? And how do you even know? and you're too embarrassed to ask that person at the counter, because unless they're not a good salesperson and not talkative like me, but if they're not, because there's plenty of them that aren't in those kinds of stores, you're just kind of like, I saw this one on Sex and the City. The rabbit, they talked about that. I like the Samantha one, you know, the massage ones. Plenty of them are holding it in here because it is a winner. It is a very good winner. Always have a wand on hand, that's a good one. Very similar shape to the microphone. But my point, I tangent there for a second. My point is that the different types of toys can be very overwhelming to choose from. And getting a little more information, getting a little more what it is that you're looking for is what you need to narrow down your questioning to. Is, yeah, you want a vibrator, well, what kind of play do you like? If you don't even play with yourself already, then you may not know where some of your own zones are, and that is also a key important. Know yourself. Know all your parts. It's okay to touch, play, use a mirror, check it out, see what's there, do a little research, know your anatomy. Men, you really don't know women's anatomy entirely. I swear to God, the amount of men that try to tell me about my body and when I'm wrong is insane. But maybe you guys should do a little anatomy check on yourselves as well as some women. But women know some things about some men. There's some things that, you know, if you're going to go give a blowjob, knowing, you know, about how to give the blowjob and the textures and the ways you want to handle it, and reading the person's reaction, because every person's different, how you're going to handle that blowjob. Everybody's got their own extras. There's the common, yes, prostate is a G-spot for males. Going in, there's the G-spots for the females internally in the vagina. They're there, but there's so much more, and getting it in and around a plank. So, Real People Talk, I talk to real people about this. So now I'm going to ask for someone in the audience to come up stage and join me, because I have a couple questions for you. Who's willing to have a conversation in public with me? You, sir, you come on up. I saw you get your pink cuffs on the other stage this morning. Come passion and show them off. What's your name? Mick? Nick. Hi, Sabrina. Pleasure to meet you. I'm going to give you this. Don't keep this too far away so everybody can hear you as long as you hear yourself on the speaker.
All right.
Alrighty. So is this your first time to the show?
No, it's my second.
Second, all right. And you're already like, I will take those cuffs and wear them proudly just like that?
Damn right.
Were you interested into the sex convert, into the kinks and the extras before you ever came here, or did the Taboo Show help kind of pull that out?
Taboo Show helped pull out a couple more, but I was getting into it before I came.
Okay. What's the first thing that you learned from a Taboo Show? What kind of toy or play act?
I'd probably have to say one of the St. Peter's crosses or the suspension frames.
Oh yeah, suspensions and things. Let's talk about that one then. Let's do it. I bought this one yesterday. This was actually, you can get, if they have any left, because this was a steal of a deal. I don't do promos, I just happen to talk about everybody else's stuff really well. But the Please booth, they have it. This whole set is amazing price, because if you are interested into what some of the stuff I'm about to talk about, but a little bit of a little bit of handcuffing, a little tying up, a little bit of rope, who knows, that kind of stuff. Getting a bundle package can get you a way better deal when you go for the whole thing. It's kind of an investment at first. Please this was half the price. It was $60. I'm not kidding you. And normally these things are $100 and something. And when you are investing for your tickle trunk in all its pieces, it gets incredibly expensive. So this can be a really great way to save in the long term. But if you're starting out beginner and you want just little stuff, start with the little stuff. This is how new it is. I literally have not taken it out of its bag. But when you work in a sex shop, you know how this stuff comes. So restraints and things. And I'm just gonna dump them. La la la. All right, restraints and what's the other word you're looking for that I'm stuck forgetting? Suspension. That's what it was. Suspension. So, did you go with suspension with ropes, or did you go with more handcuffs and things? What kind of things did you learn?
My interest is starting with ropes, but I haven't tried anything else yet.
Fair. Great. Ropes are amazing. The ropes, I highly suggest Heaton, just over here. They're next to my booth. I'm at booth 425 right here, and they're right behind me. They've got all kinds of rope. Rope comes into a Japanese form of rope bondage and play that is, it's not a rough sex adventure, I don't even know how to explain that. It's a very sensual kind of taking you in. It's an experience that until you experience it, don't shove it off, because it can bring out things from, I'm sure you've probably experienced, maybe even if it's like anxiety or otherwise, but that, you know, that pressure that the roping can kind of give, and that suspension when that pulls, it has a grasp, and the parts that we don't usually, you know, if we're not penetrating a hole in some way, we're not paying enough attention to the rest of our body parts. And that's the skin on your arms, to your legs, to your torsos, all of it. And when you're wrapping yourself up in, I'm not going to do a demo on him because I still need to learn. I'm also a learner, and I'm going to admit that. I'm still new at a lot of things, and I'm not afraid to share that. But I do know that I'm sharing my journey with, because there's a lot of you guys that don't know either, and you're still too shy to come out and say something. But the whole rope and bondage and suspension, the tensions of actually being able to do any of the stuff that's around your legs, that kind of stuff. You know, like a weighted blanket can help someone with anxiety. It's just that pressure kind of feeling. You can do the same with rope and play. So when it is sexual time, you can either do it for yourself or when you're with partners and you're doing it together. That kind of like, see how far you can go, test a little different. Even one of the things I was talking to Heaton about this morning, how she is actually wrapped in hers today. We were talking about, like, because it's wrapped and it's like a good tug. I personally am not a nipple play kind of person. Like, I'm not very sensitive in that area. Until one time someone tried with me and roped and tied around the boobs. And then the tension of the boobs and being pulled, had the sensitivities that then came to the front was like amazing. I'm like, this is what all the ladies are enjoying all this time. I had no idea. So there's ways that you can kind of incorporate rope into not having to be a whole binding but suspension, but that tensions and bits and parts are really amazing. And same with the cuffs and stuff that I have in here. I bought this one also because it's fuzzy inside. You want to consider what you're going to put around you, what kind of toughness that you're going to be pulling, because the beginner handcuffs, they're just to kind of hang out in, okay? They're not going to hold much strength, but they're also can be really cutting. And so if you really want to get into the play and the pull and some of the suspension and things like you did and yours, it's that comfort level. You want your partner to be comfortable in whatever way, and sensuality. What are some things that you've learned? What was a toy you bought here once?
A toy I bought here once was one of the butt plug sets. I just bought that today, actually.
Ooh, a butt plug.
Yeah.
Is it one that vibrates or warms up, or
just a regular
remote
set.
control? Just a basic plugger?
Yeah.
Awesome. Basic plug. There's a great one to example. A lot of people have a lot of questions about butt plugs. Butt plugs are a simple kind of just your rectum stretcher. It's a little pop, and you also, if you're double penetration, and one's up front and you stick one and have a plug in the back, the actual like extra penetration in there is kind of helps create extra arousals and fun. Anyone wanting and wishing to try into the anal play and going in the back door, putting in and working with lube, but putting some lube on, putting that anal plug in there to make it easy glide and hang out in it for like 45 minutes if you know that's what you want to try that night. It helps kind of stretch and ease what's going to come. And then, just take it slow and work your way in there. It's okay. But I'm excited. So is this your first butt plug?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Are you looking towards going, and I hope you don't mind, but that's why we're here. We're at a Taboo Show, people.
Yeah.
If you're going for the butt plug, are you going to aiming towards the next step? Because I know a butt plug is generally like kind of a first stepper for some. Or some are looking to try to go for something else like a little bit further, deeper, pegging. other kind
see
of...
how it goes.
See how it goes? Yeah.
See
Proud
how
of
I
you.
like it and go from there.
Yeah, right on. I do encourage, there's ones also, if you're single, or even if you're not single, you can still play by yourself. But there's butt plugs that come that are vibrated. They're warming ones if you don't like something cold up there. There's ones with remote, so you can have a little fun. Or your partner's going to have the remote and you're having a little fun. That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing and your vulnerability for being in front of people, because I appreciate that, and I know how difficult it is to share your sexual choices and pleasures with the masses. And I'm sure that there are many, there's some in there that are like, I can't believe you just said that in front of everybody.
The lights is kind of there. I can't see no one, so it's like no one's there.
Right? Everybody's naked.
Yeah.
So everybody's naked. Nobody else knows. Thank you, darling. Thanks for being up here. Who's our next volunteer? Anybody? I can't really, if I see, hold on. The light. I see somebody. There you are, darling. Sorry, this light is like, we can't see nobody. Come on up. Hello, what's your name? Oh, I love this. That's fabulous. I'm a big fashion. Yeah, girl. Yeah. Or they, or I don't. They, pardon. Just gotta ask the pronouns sometimes. My apologies. My name's Sabrina, and you are? Elle. Nice to meet you. So, what brought you to the show? Sorry?
I've been to the show a couple years now, and I'm actually bringing my partner for the first time, so that's very exciting.
Awesome. So your partner's a first timer, so so what have you enjoyed getting to show them that you know that they haven't explored before?
I've been really excited to bring them to the non-monogamy talks, because I've been polyamorous for many, many years, and my partner's kind of new to the community, and we've also been enjoying the shows, so that's something you don't see every day.
No, there's so much shows and things that are just not enough out there. And here in Calgary, I'm from BC, and so there's a little more shows over there. Sorry, but there is. But there are some things happening in the city, and the city's growing with some things, which is really nice to see. Do you venture any of the clubs or any of that kind of stuff, or are you in any of the groups?
Not at this moment. I used to attend a lot of the kind of kink munches that they had, but COVID kind of shut everything down, and even the rope classes that I used to go to, they weren't hosting for a while, so hoping to reconnect with some folks here and hopefully see some familiar faces and kind of get back in.
Yes. After COVID coming back out, even BC, we had way more that I found out now that all lost their business during COVID, because obviously all has a lot to do with touching in one way or another, so not the business of COVID. But things are coming back, and definitely right now the conversation of sex is like, it's a movement. If you haven't seen like Netflix's show, How to Build a Sex Room, that Melanie lady, she's like, bless her heart, I adore her so much. But there's little things that just open that conversation that are coming onto mainstream, which is really awesome. And you mentioned, you touched on a really good point. The polyamory, non-monogamous, that kind of thing. I know there was a speaker earlier that was talking about it. That's a lot more to get a little more familiar with, is that it's not just monogamous relationships and single people or sex addicts. That's not how it works. There's a whole lifestyle of people that are just about just consensual conversation and communication. The same that two people should have in a monogamous relationship is the same if two people want to have a polyamorous relationship, or one that is single and whatever the fuck they want. I'm single, and whoever and what and when and where, that's my business, and it doesn't make anything wrong or right, and nor do I have to have a husband in my future. And that is the future and the world that we live in, and that all of us should not be judging towards others. Polyamory, etc., is all around us, and it is there. It's been existent forever. We're just now finally talking about it. So I'm glad. That's a point. See? Real people talk. She brought up a conversation that's about the real shit that we all should be talking about on a general basis, on a mass basis, not in organizations in particular and segregated, because that's not what's going to have us come together. That's not what couples are going to come and figure their shit out together if you're not actually open and listening to each other and opening your ideas and mind of all of the opportunities and things that are out there. And that's not me saying if you're monogamous, go out there and have more fun with other people, but explore within yourselves and your own monogamous relationship. If you're single, explore yourself or seeing what else. The events and things that are out there. You mentioned some groups. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's something I want to bring up. There are groups. There's different Facebook groups. There's Canadian Lifestyle Group. They're here. They're in the Club Rendezvous booth. They're a group I'm on, and it's just those that live the lifestyle. And when you want to know, go on. They're going on a trip to Mexico or to Cancun. And it's taking over Temptations, so all of those like living in the lifestyle are just going to go enjoy this non-judgmental, open experience over on the beach in the ocean out there. It's going to be amazing for them. They're doing it again next year, but that's a big event that they put on. But then there's a bunch of events that are happening throughout each month that are in different variations. I know in Vancouver, there's even a sex geekdom group. So it's all about those with the cosplay and the Comic-Cons and all that kind of stuff. But like-minded people, they're all out there. You just have to find it and being able to go and communicate a little bit more. So what else have you plan on that you haven't experienced yet that you're looking to show and share that you want your partner to see?
I've been really interested in seeing the world famous penis painter. I looked at some of his paintings online and looking forward to that.
Oh yes, he's an entertainer. And he's been around for a long time. Like, he has not aged or looked a day in like a decade or more that I've seen him around, and it's amazing. But I appreciate, again, that's a fantastic point. The art here, if you guys haven't looked at, love the art. I love the expressionism, and that it should be okay to have, besides having beautiful Renaissance naked women, having the naked men out there, or really the vulva right up in your face. It's okay. It's beautiful. It's who we all are and where we all freaking came from. So enjoy it and appreciate it. And the way he's doing it, that is an artist. I mean, kudos to someone who basically came out and is like, I'm just going to paint with my dick. I'm going to just stick it on stage and I'm going to make, and he's very talented. The paintings are actually quite something, what he does. But hey, teach their own, and that's his living. Not a taboo thing. It's just a painting with a guy's dick and some paint on a canvas. You don't know what some of those other artists behind their closed doors are painting with, because they ain't telling you, so don't judge by the one sharing it with you right on stage. Everybody has their own thing and their own kinks. So yeah, he's actually just right behind the Japanese dildos. Those guys are really amazing too. Yeah, definitely check him out. It's gonna be so much fun. I appreciate you coming out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm just gonna double check my time. I got 4 minutes. Hi guys, I got live over here. If everybody wants to give a hello. Wow, guys, really? That was embarrassing. Can I get more than 2 people out of this entire audience? I got lights, but I can see shadowed like silhouettes that there are human beings out there. And can we get one more hello to the people on the outside? They're across Canada, people. There's people in PEI and Ontario and Quebec. They're all over the place on there. They're all listening and watching. So thank you. Hello. So just to wrap up, because I'm on my last minutes here, I do invite you to come fill out a ballot. I've got, besides my stuff, people keep asking me for product. They're like, do you sell your own stuff? I have online, it's called Fashion House, and it's some sexy clothes. I've got boxers and briefs and things like that, but they all have fun, naughty kind of innuendos of graphics and things like that. But I have my fucking rights boxers going for a contest. If you fill out a ballot, you can get a pair. Also, mainly, I just would love to have all of you like, follow, share RealPeopleTalk.ca on all the platforms. Sex with Sabrina is on YouTube. I'm on Spotify. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, all of that jazz. So RealPeopleTalk.ca. That's my URL. That's my account handle. You can't go wrong with all of those. Hit it up, or Sex with Sabrina, find it either way. I appreciate your time and listening to having a real conversation with real people, and I hope it opens the conversations for you to have real conversations with other real people. Thank you.
Thank you.